So let's talk about month number 8, I do believe. Um, Today was the first day of Audiotronics, and it was just a lecture day, so this video might be a little short, but it was just a lecture. I did get my lab schedule though, and my first Audiotronics lecture is actually tomorrow after the electricity class. So it's a little odd, but it's nothing that I can't handle. And basically, yeah, the lab or the lecture was pretty alright. We pretty much went, I think, until about 4:30 or so today. Although I'm expecting it to be one of those classes that lasts the whole 4 hours. Um, and actually, majority of the class, actually the whole class, we spent filling out notes. So it actually wasn't this. Well, it kind of was the textbook as far as filling stuff out. But for the most part, we were, going through class and we were filling this thing out. So I'll let you take a look. You can see that. And this guy, we talked about different stuff. Today we talked about audio interfaces, and we laid really heavy on all the different connector types, different cable types and whatnot. Here we have the second page. That's what it looks like. And so these are the type of notes that we're looking at. Here's the next page. So, and there were 5 pieces of paper, so 10 pages total, because it was front and back. And we had to take notes off of the slides. So it's fill in the blank note. And then at the end, it has our homework here. You can see that. So they'll use this document to complete the textbook blanks for the AUT Lesson 1, which is where this came in. So I had to use this packet to fill in the blanks for the first section of this book here, which wasn't too bad. And it's got little check boxes as you go along, so you can check things off as you know them or whatever. So this also has the lab stuff too, so I have to bring this with lab to me, I'm assuming, because let's see here, I'm gonna find it. Because at the front of this one it says Lesson 1, and it actually goes into Lab 1, which is what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So I had to study this stuff. And then I also had to look up, so this textbook is weird in the sense that you do have to fill some of it in, but that helps, I think, with the studying. But at the same time, it is a textbook. Like, I think it's on page 60. We have to memorize what all the symbols are for all the components. So we have to memorize all these symbols. And we also have to memorize, I think it's a little bit later in the book. Here we go. We have to memorize these 25 connectors here. So we have to know the names and then what they look like, and basically we're going to have to match them. Now the interesting thing about this class is that the testing is not going to be Scantron. It is not bubble in. Basically, the tests are fill in the blank. For the quizzes, he said there's going to be like a word bank or whatever that we can choose from. But for the midterm and the final, it's going to be purely from our head. Like, we're going to have to remember what it is, fill in the blank hardcore test. And actually, it was mentioned that the entire school, for all classes, Full Sail is trying to get all the classes to switch over to fill in the blank instead of Scantron. It's just going to be more of a pain in the butt for the instructors and everybody to grade, but it would definitely make people study harder and weed out the people that probably shouldn't be here, or that, are just wasting their own time and money being here. Like, there was this kid that sat next to me today, and mind you, majority of the class, we're all pretty focusing, and at least the people that are falling asleep are trying to get the answers to fill in. This kid had the packet, didn't even look up from his computer once. Like, he was on Facebook the whole time or whatever, and he was just buried in his computer for 4 hours today. And I'm like, man, I don't know how you do that for 4 hours straight, especially when you should be learning this stuff. I don't know. Tomorrow, if he's doing the same thing, I'm gonna be like, dude, why are you here? I don't get it. Why would you come to this school if you're gonna be like that? But no, Audiotronics seems pretty interesting. We also went over the basics of like soldering and tinning and whatnot. So, and kind of like the safety things for that, which I'm going to be doing in lab tomorrow. I think tomorrow in lab, let's see, I'm actually going to be soldering tomorrow. Yeah, it says, in this lab, you will learn to solder and use test equipment, specifically solder wire-to-wire connections, solder gator clip test leads, apply heat shrink tubing, solder XLR cables, use test equipment to evaluate soldering, and use audio equipment to check wiring functionality. So tomorrow's lab for Audiotronics is going to be really cool, I think. I'm really interested in this kind of stuff. I've been going through this book here for my Principles and Applications of Electronics class. I've been going through this book. I read Chapter 1 yesterday and did the end of chapter questions, and I read Chapter 2 today and did the end of chapter questions. So, yeah, I'm kind of taking this month pretty seriously. I started studying the symbols for the schematic, whatever. Like I'm taking the first 5, or I'm doing them 5 at a time. So today and tomorrow I'll focus on learning the first 5, and then the next day the next 5, and etc. That way I'll build. Because when I looked at that list or that chart earlier, I was like, oh my good God, this is impossible, But what do they call it? Stepwise refinement or something like that. We just take it one chunk at a time. So I broke it up into 5. So by Saturday I should know all of them for sure. I'm not sure when the first quiz is, but I will be prepared. I think I'll ask the lab techs tomorrow evening. Tomorrow's going to be a bit of a long day. I've got 1:15 to 5. I've got the first PAE class, and then 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock I have my first Audiotronics lab. So it should definitely be exciting. I am definitely this month staying more strict on myself about just being disciplined and doing the things that I want to do instead of getting distracted by whatever, like YouTube and all that, video games, which actually I did pretty good earlier. I studied. I know the 5 symbols that I set out to learn. So I'm about to go play some video games now, actually. But I earned it. I did. I've been studying and doing schoolwork and stuff. But yeah, it's a good day. So thanks for joining me. Tomorrow's going to be a nice 8-hour day. Should be nice and tired by the time I get home. But I'm going to try to film the stuff throughout the day. If it doesn't happen, well then it doesn't happen. I'll just make when I get home. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow.